So what we're looking at here is we're finishing up elimination. We're going to be done with it today. So go on and close your Chromebooks for now. So go on and just close them, put them on the floor, put them out of your sight so that we can do this here. Now, we only have 2 examples of this here that we're going to look at because it's not adding too much more than what we've done the last few days. And again, what we're continuing on with is elimination. And when we're using elimination, we're wanting to eliminate one variable out. We're going to pick either x or y to eliminate it out and solve for the other one. So if we eliminate x, we're going to solve it for y. And once we find the value of y, then we can find the value of x. Now, when we did this on Monday, well, we had one variable already would match up, and we could add or subtract, and that was easy. When we looked at these yesterday, well, I had to multiply one of the equations, either the first one or the second one, by a number. Then the variable or the number in front of the variables would match up, and we can eliminate, yes? Now, if we look at this here, well, say I wanted to eliminate x. Is there any number I can multiply by, or 6 by, to get to 9? Can we multiply 6 by a number? Well, not really, right? Because there's not going to be, I can't multiply 6 by x and end up with 9, because that just doesn't work, right? Because 9 is not a multiple of 6, and vice versa. The same thing is true with 2 and 13, because there's no number that I can multiply 2 by to get to 13. So this here is the last type that we're going to look at. Because what we're going to do is we want to pick one. Let's just say we're looking at x. Now, there's 2 ways to go about this. One way is going to give us smaller numbers. Another way is going to give us bigger numbers, but it's a little bit easier to get to. So when I look at this here, we'll do the smaller numbers first. We'll do the bigger numbers second. Okay? So when I look at this here, I want the x values to be the same. I want them to have the same number in front. So what we can do is we can look at the multiples of 6 and the multiples of 9. Well, 6 is what? 6, 12, 18, 24, and 9 would be 9, 18. Well, hey, 9 and 6, the multiples of 9, multiple 6, share 18, yes? So I could turn 9 into 18, and I can turn 6 into 18, yes? So what do I need to multiply 9 by to get it to be 18? 2. So what I can do is I can take that equation and multiply everything by 2. So I'm going to take that entire equation and multiply everything by 2. And let's see what we get. Well, 2 times 9x is going to be 18x. 2 times 2y is going to be plus. So we just took the top equation and multiplied it by 2. Now, what times 6 will give us 18? 3. So I'm going to take the bottom equation and multiply everything by 3. 3 times 6 is going to give us 18x. 3 times 13y is going to be plus 39y. And negative 9 times 3 is going to be negative 27. So when I multiply the top equation by 2 and the bottom equation by 3, what number do I have in front of x? Well, we have what? And 18. So we were able to make them be the same. And that's the goal. Now, up to this point here, we haven't had to do too much. We've maybe multiplied one equation. This is the first one where we're really going to have to multiply both equations to get there. And now that we have a number in front of both of these that's the same, we can use our elimination. So I'll take this here, and I'm just rewriting it so we can use our elimination. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 3 times 13y. No, you're good. You're good. Any questions on anything we've done thus far? Any questions on any of this here? Any questions on any of this here? Logan, let's put the Chromebook away. Yep, let's focus up here. So far, because again, that's it. Now, when we want to eliminate, because we're wanting to eliminate x, that's why we got 18 to be in front of x on both equations. Now, would we add the two together or subtract the two from each other? What do you think we should do? Add them or subtract? Subtract. 18x minus 18x is what? 0. So we would subtract, because we can check the one we want to eliminate. Subtraction, okay, it's 0. If it wasn't 0, then we could try adding, because we want one of these to become 0. When we look at the rest of them, 4 minus 39. Well, that's going to be negative. Equals. Well, negative and negative here would make a. And last but not least, what do we need to do? Which tells us y is equal to. So we're halfway done. Questions on this here? So what was a real challenging step in this for this problem here? Well, I would say it's really getting one of the variables to be the same, yes? So just figuring out what do we need to do to get the variables to be the same. Okay. Now we found that the value of y is negative 3. Now we just need to find the value of what? X, yes? Okay. So y is negative 3. Well, I can just grab one of these equations. Do we want to use the top one or the bottom one? The bottom. So we could say 6x plus 13 times negative 3 is equal to negative 9. Now we just need to solve for the value of x. And once we get that, we're done with this one here. Well, 13 times negative 3 is going to be negative 39. Because 13 times negative 3 is going to be negative 39. And then what can we do next? Because we want to get x by itself. We want everything on the other side. So we would do something with the 39. We would add 39 to both sides, because negative 39 plus 39 will simple out and become 0. And leave 6x on the left-hand side. Now, negative 9 plus 39 would be? Okay, and the last thing we need to do to find the value of x is going to be to divide both sides by 6. And 30 divided by 6 is? So the answer for this here is 5 comma negative 3. 5 comma negative 3. And that's the solution. Questions on this here? Any questions on any of this here so far? We're good with this here? Yes? Okay. All right. Let's look at this one here. Now, I'm going to do this one here a little bit differently, because it was kind of helpful, because we did go over the last one yesterday, kind of like pointing out 18 is going to be kind of a nice number to use to turn x and eliminate x. Now, looking at this here, it doesn't matter if we eliminate x or eliminate y. Which one do we want to try to eliminate first, x or y? So let's do y. Let's eliminate y. Now, we could go through the factors of 7 and 11 and try to see which one's going to be the first one, or kind of nice one that would work out, yes? Another method that will work is that I'm going to take the first equation, 7y equals negative 2. I'm going to write it down. I'm going to take the other equation, 8x plus 11y equals 30. Okay? So I have these two here. So this one here, 12x minus 7y, this one here is the first equation, yes? What's the y value in the other equation? So, okay. So what can we multiply this whole thing by so that they're going to be the same? We can multiply it by 11. So what can we multiply the other one by? 7. Because 7 times 11 is 77, yes? I can turn 11 and 7 both into 77. And this works just fine. We could have done the exact same thing with the other one, but it worked out 18 was a smaller number that worked. Okay? Sometimes doing it this way is the smallest number that'll work. Sometimes it's not. But we will still get the same answer. Okay, let's multiply through. 11 times 12 is going to give us 132x minus 77y is equal to, well, negative 2 times 11 is going to be negative 22. Okay, any questions on this so far? Any questions on how we got 11 and 7 to be multiplied? Okay, let's do the other one. Now here I can multiply through by 7. 7 times 8x is going to be 56x. 7 times 11 is going to be plus 77y, hey. And 7 times 30 is going to be 210. But hey, we got 77y in both equations, yes? And that's the goal. We're trying to get one of the variables to be the same in both equations. So this here, the process of finding what number we're going to get them to be the same or what to multiply, this is easier, yes? Because I'm grabbing the number from the other equation and multiplying it by the first. So I grab the 11, to the highlighter. So I grabbed the 11 from the second equation and multiplied it by the first. Multiplied the whole thing by 11. For the second equation, I grabbed the 7 and multiplied the entire second equation by 7. And by doing this, we got 77y and 77y. They are the same. Do I now have a number in front of one of the variables that's the same in both equations? Is that what I wanted? Yeah. Okay, now we can put the equations over the top of each other. 132x minus 77y equals negative 22. That's the first one. Our other equations, 56x. See you tomorrow. We get this here. Now, would we add these two together or would we subtract them? So let's try subtraction. So what is negative 77y minus 77y? So negative, well, this is a negative and a positive. So negative 77 minus 77 would be what, negative 154? But it would be bigger, wouldn't it? Because the signs are not canceling out. So we would need to add them. We need to add them. And we could do that on a calculator to double check, and it would work out that negative 77 plus 77 would be 0. So for this one here, we would need to add. Because when the signs are opposite, we add. When the signs are the same, we subtract. Because negative 77y plus 77y, this would give us 0. Now 132x plus 56x is going to be what? 188x. These cancel out. And negative 22 plus 210 is going to be I believe 188. Or if we looked at this 210 minus 22, so we'd have, we need to carry the 1, which would make this 11, or I went too far. Went too far. So 210 minus 22. Well, I can't do 2 from 0, so I borrow 1. 10 minus 2 is 8. 8 and 1. Okay. Now that we eliminated y, we have that 188x is equal to, well, 188. So what do we need to do? We need to so x is equal to 1. But now what do we need to find? We need to find the value of y. Any questions on this here so far? You good with this here so far? Okay, so now we just need to plug it back in. So we can pick the bottom equation. So 8 times 1 plus 11y is equal to 30. Well, 8 times 1 is 8. And again, we want to get y by itself, so the first thing we can do in getting y by itself is to subtract 8 from both sides. 11y is equal to 30 minus 8 is 22. And last but not least, we would both sides by 11. Okay. So the solution is 1, 2. And that's it. So we can either find factors that would make it a little bit easier, a little bit smaller values that would work, or we can just use the other number like we did here, where we multiplied the top equation by 11 and the bottom equation by 7, so the y values would be the same. Either way will work. So this week and last week, what we've gone over is different methods to solve systems. We solved it by graphing, substitution, and elimination. And elimination by multiplying first. And that's it.